continue this when we start. And hi, everybody, it is Let's Talk Racing. You missed me out, me and my loud mouth. So we're all just catching up.
Pick a hat, Al, any hat.
We got Al and Colin and me and Roger, as usual. So how's everybody doing? As we were continuing our conversation, let's just pick up where the audience didn't know we left off. You drive back after the race. Is
Oh yeah.
what we were
I don't want
talking
to. Particularly in May when it's nice and warm, I'll put the top down.
Oh yeah?
Cut the radio on wide open.
You need a big 2-gallon cup of coffee to get you back home? Or you just don't have that drowsy problem when you drive?
No, I'd rather be home all day Sunday than stay in a motel Saturday night, wake up at 9 o'clock and then, oh man, I got 6 hours to get home.
about. Yeah.
If I leave the racetrack at midnight, I'd be home at 6 o'clock.
And then does the wife let you get like an hour's worth of sleep
Yeah,
before?
I can sleep as long as I want.
You really?
Sleep all day?
So that's
No, a couple, 4 or 5 hours.
Yeah.
So that's not too bad of a deal then, I guess. It's just...
I guess. I mean, I just
But I'm telling you,
I don't know how you stay motivated to drive overnight like
But
that.
see, here's the deal. With a convertible, when the sun begins to come up at 5:30, it's great.
Okay.
It's just wonderful.
Okay.
But I guess in between then it's just really cool.
The best times to drive a convertible is an hour before sunset and an hour before sunrise.
Okay.
They're just perfect.
Okay.
So anyway,
Well, you're going to get your wish then, maybe. If it's not raining.
all right, I'm back from my long 3-week, 4-week road trip wherever I've been. I don't know.
Yeah.
Now you had to what when you had food poisoning? You had to what? Just sit in a car and ride.
I
behind it?
rode one of the support vehicles, which runs right behind the group. I mean, I didn't miss anything, except I wasn't out there doing this for, you know.
It was a lot softer.
Yeah,
When they do it,
and I could sleep.
when they do pile your bike in a
Yeah.
back trailer or something.
Yeah, they've got 2 trailers that come behind the group. If you break down, which Harleys often do,
Yeah.
they just load them up.
Well, so much for getting that Holly sponsorship. For
Well,
the show.
Yeah.
no, Harley sends, on the charity ride, Harley sends a 3 or 4 man repair crew with a repair trailer with us.
Ah,
And at every gas stop, you'll see them over there fixing somebody something. The speedometer broke or the carburetor's acting up, and they'll do major repair work at a gas stop, which is usually like about an hour before a gas stop. And they work on them constantly. So
it's almost like Tour de France type thing.
yes, exactly.
So the one day or so that you got to ride, were you riding a Harley?
Yeah.
So did you have your Can-Am helmet and all that? Your Can-Am jacket?
I was riding the Road King Police Special.
Oh, nice, yeah.
Wow.
That's a great bike.
Yeah, it was good, but
One day, or how many days did you get before
Well, I forgot to look to see if he wore his hat during
you had the bad
I
state?
rode 2 days, got sick,
2 days?
laid out
That's
2
not bad.
days, and then did the rest.
Oh, you did? Okay, I didn't realize you ever got back on the bike.
Oh yeah,
I thought you
got
felt
back
too
on
bad.
for the last 3 days.
Oh, great. Okay.
Yeah.
You had to get back in the saddle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure you went by an In-N-Out Burger.
Oh,
You
only
got
had
one the first day.
Only
Only
one?
had
I
one.
have good news for you, Al. I am traveling to Arizona tomorrow, and literally from my hotel right down the street is an In-N-Out Burger, and I finally get to have one.
There you go.
Since
Okay.
you keep telling me I have to. I was
You
researching.
go
better
to
bring me
Phoenix?
back one.
Huh?
You go to
How long
Phoenix?
you gonna be there?
I'm going to be there 3 days, and yeah, I'm going to be in Phoenix.
No, she can send you one back.
I'm
dry
just going to
ice.
be there in 3 days. I don't know, Roger. I'll see. And so I was researching the area, because I always like to look where I'm going, to see
Yeah.
where things at. So, like, I get an idea of, like, you know, the area and places I could go and see. And so I was looking at my hotel. I was like, wow, it's surrounded by all this stuff. And I just see an In-N-Out Burger Square. And I was like, oh, I finally get to have one. Everybody talks about how great it is,
It's pretty
especially
good.
this guy.
Now, in all fairness, and I'm sure you guys agree, if they were back on the East Coast and you could get them anytime you wanted them,
It'd be
they'd kind of be okay.
Yeah.
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 But as a treat,
Yeah.
they're pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah. I thought they were good. I was trying to think of something to compare to. So it's way better than
McDonald's.
what is the Steak and Shake?
Anything's
better.
Yeah,
Anything's
so
better
way
than
better than
McDonald's.
that.
Yeah.
What about
Um,
Wendy's?
Oh
And-
God, yeah, way better than
Way better.
than
What
Wendy's.
do you,
And-
do you know
and-
about Smitty's though?
Yeah, and
They've got some good fries.
I guess you'd have to do
Good
some kind of a
fries.
local chain of some or
Yeah.
local
Go check
restaurant of
Smitty's.
something to have.
Like
Check
Smitty's
something
or
anywhere
whatever, what a
comparable.
burger.
Yeah.
or-
Chick-fil-A is just on the East Coast, isn't it?
Yeah.
Chick-fil-A.
But the
Chick-fil-A,
thing-
once you go so far, there's very few
Yeah.
because there's only one in Kansas.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
There's
But the
one.
thing about In-N-Out Burger is, and I read this the other day on some survey of the most popular restaurants, they don't have any franchise more than 300 miles from their distribution point.
Okay.
So
So it's all fresh.
every night,
Getting it
for
fresh,
example,
yeah.
like right now, somewhere, there's a truck driving toward an In-N-Out Burger with fresh food to
Yeah.
be served tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if it was those
And
guys.
at the end of the day,
but I've
what they've
heard
got
somebody
left
say that.
over, gone.
Yeah.
They don't.
They don't
Everything is
recycle it?
fresh.
Well, I did want to tell you about our casino. We stayed at the Venetian while we were out there,
Oh, okay.
and I wanted to tell you about the Johnny Rockets burger that we had while we were there.
Yeah,
That
they're
was
good.
good.
Johnny
So-
Rockets are great.
Well,
That
I
was good burger.
but I mean, I think In-N-Out Burger hasn't beat on the price though.
Oh,
So
okay.
at the Venetian, where they have their little canals and the gondola
Oh, yeah.
rides and
Oh,
all
yeah.
that stuff, and then you walk around through there and you find the food court, and there's the Johnny Rockets. 3 hamburgers, fries, and 3 sodas. Estimate on the cost?
$55.
A little more than that.
So
Really?
say 60.
Yep.
$86.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
So when we went to, so not only was the In-N-Out Burger a treat in terms of taste,
And price.
it was as good as the Johnny Rockets, but definitely was easier on the wallet.
All right. What about Fuddruckers?
Oh, I love me some
It's been so long
Fuddruckers.
ago, I don't remember
What's
too
this
much
now?
about
I like
Fuddruckers.
Fuddruckers.
I like Five Guys.
Before
Yeah.
it is, before it was what it is now. I remember when I was a kid, we would always, every time we went and remember Work River when we would do the roller skating, we would always stop at Fuddruckers and get burgers and milkshakes, and it was a cool, like, it had a cool rock and roll theme then, and
Yeah.
like,
By the way, folks, this is a racing show.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I love how our
Okay,
racing
But we're
news
getting
is
the food
moving.
conversation out of the
In
way.
case
early
you're
tonight,
wondering,
so,
yeah.
Yeah.
But we don't just cover racing, as you can
Let me
see.
tell you what.
We raced to the In-N-Out Burgers and any place
the
else.
last
Oh, yeah.
35 laps
Five
at
Guys is
Dover
good.
were as good as you can get.
Yeah.
Yep.
No,
Yeah, that actually
if
was a good race.
NASCAR could find a way to bottle
Dover in every week.
those 35, no, just, the first 360 were okay, but the last 35 were just great.
Mhm.
I mean, Larson could have dumped him.
Oh,
Yeah.
He
Elliott could have
could've
dumped
wrecked him.
Larson.
Mhm.
I don't think Elliott could have ever dumped Kendrick, and he didn't get close enough.
Uh-huh.
But man, if they could get anything like that, and put that in a every weekend type deal, which you can't do because every football game doesn't end with a spectacular touchdown,
Yeah.
kick, you know,
Or a winning field goal.
or a 3-pointer by Seth Curry. You don't get that every game.
Yeah.
But if they could get that kind of finish at every 3rd or 4th weekend, oh,
Yeah.
they'd own the world again.
Well, we did talk to William Byron after his truck race at Kansas.
Okay, yeah, I know you did, yeah.
He was.
But see, nothing that happens on Fridays or Saturdays matters. It's everything that happens on Sunday.
Yeah.
Because you remember
What's
the
wrong with
great,
this picture?
No, I'm just telling you, the great the Xfinity finish at Bristol with Bush and somebody, Larson maybe?
I think it was Larson.
Whoever won the Xfinity, the Saturday race at Bristol, great finish with Bush. That was, I mean, that doesn't, people want to see Sunday.
They want to see that on Sunday.
They want to see that on Sunday.
Well,
That's like having,
put the
like
cup race
having,
on Saturday. Put the good race on
Well,
just
Sunday.
switch it around and maybe something will happen. I don't know.
that's like having an incredible finish to an NCAA Division II basketball game on Tuesday night in Montana. Who cares? Let's see it in the Final Four. So, but Dover was just spectacular.
Yeah.
Just great.
They had the big pile up
And the
there
big wreck,
with
that
Jimmy
suited a bunch of
Johnson's
people.
problem with his
Oh.
transmission. So. That
never had a transmission do
that may have
before.
hurt Tony Stewart quite a bit, not in terms of physically, but in terms of trying to get to the top 30.
He'll still.
He's got to win a race, and he's
he'll
got to
make
get in the top 30.
He
Okay.
will.
But the challenge, I guess, the bigger mountain to climb is actually winning a race.
Right. He is.
At
And
this
I wrote
point.
for Autoweek. He faces a much less challenging task than Stewart did, than Bush did.
No, Bush, yeah.
Because Bush missed 11 races.
Yeah.
Tony's only missed 8.
Mm-hmm.
And Bush easily made the top 30 and won. Tony will make the top 30, but the winning part, yeah.
I mean, he's had some good races since he's got back in the car.
No, he hadn't. Come on, Roger.
Better than he was doing
You know
last
he's
year.
going to be biased.
You don't
Come
think
on.
that 6th place finish at Kansas was, it wasn't even his. I mean, at Talladega, wasn't even his. He finished 12th at Kansas, led a bunch of laps,
They should be
only because of pit cycle strategy.
Well, I mean, if that's what it takes to win, that's what
Well,
it
I
takes
know,
to
but
win.
he had to have great runs.
Yeah.
You certainly wasn't running good Sunday.
No.
Nowhere near. So,
He was
He-
staying on the lead lap, though, but I was
Danica was
pulling
on
the strings. I know.
Danica was on the lead lap.
Roger,
that right.
Even Danica was on the lead lap Sunday.
And she, I was about to say, she almost missed a wreck.
Yeah, with half the field crash, she finished 13th.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yay
that's
for
about the
her.
only way. You know?
Yay for her. But see, Tony's best shot, I think, would be Pocono.
Yeah.
It's a fairly short race. He'll run well at Michigan. Road courses, I don't think
Sonoma, you don't think he'll do well?
so. I don't know about Sonoma. He'll do good at Daytona.
Yeah. Phoenix, he will like, but that's.
He won't have you got to have it won by then.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, 'cause that's going to be beyond it.
I got to have it done
Oh,
by
yeah, that's
Chicago.
right. Okay, that's right.
Yeah.
It's after Daytona.
Loudon, he'll do okay at Loudon. And he'll do okay at Indy.
Yeah. He's got a lot of good tracks ahead of him
got
that he's done
tracks
good
coming up,
before.
Yeah.
So he's got a lot of good chances to win it, and it's his to lose it.
You realize that last year, in 36 races, he finished worse in points than he had the previous year in 33. You realize that last year, Danica beat him in points.
Wow.
28 to 25th.
You know, you could have skipped that part of the
Well, I
contest.
could have.
no, he's supposed to remind
But he's
you.
done some research this week.
I'm all right. I'm all right.
Yeah.
If I had not done that great research in Autoweek,
That's
I
right.
would know
See,
that.
see, I've got a big task
I knew there was
ahead of me
something
here.
to it.
You know that, right?
Which is,
I got to find a new driver to root for.
well, run for Clint Boyer. He's
Well,
outside of
Well,
Boyer's a good guy.
Roger,
He'd be a lot of
no,
fun.
Roger, we support all race car drivers.
He's taking over the fort. Root for him. Let's get him a ride.
Yeah.
Yeah, really.
No, say we got someone right
That'd
here.
be great.
For the interim, I was thinking of Eric because he's started out the same number Tony was with 20.
Yeah, he's not gonna win again though.
You don't think Eric Jones is going to win again?
Oh, Eric Jones. Yeah, I thought you meant Morello.
Oh,
Yeah, Jones maybe. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Tony
Yeah.
can start before.
Well, Kyle Larson.
Chase
Well,
Elliott.
you got a whole crew of new people if you
Yeah.
want to start with
Right.
somebody you're going to have over the years. So.
Yeah.
Brian Blaney.
Blaney would be.
Somebody else.
Blaney.
Blaney would be a
I'll
good
tell
one.
you what. Everybody, including me, I'll admit it. Everybody else had given Rookie of the Year automatically to Elliott, and he still may win it.
Uh-huh.
But it's already been tighter than people thought it would be.
Yeah.
So with the Wood brothers now running a full year with thanks to Penske, you think they'll get the charter system for next year?
I think they'll get it late this year.
Sure they will.
I think, and Eddie Wood told me a couple of months ago, the Wood brothers think that a team, which they would not say who it is,
Probably
they
Penske.
think that a team will get in such financial straits toward the end of the year that they'll be willing to sell their franchise to them,
Okay.
the Wood brothers,
Yeah.
and then they'll be good to go the rest of the year.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they've had no trouble being the best of the open teams
Right.
so far,
Yeah.
and they proved that they belong there. So, I think the Woods will get a charter at some point this year, because I think you can sell them. I think if you want to get out, if you want to take a team out of the pool, you can do it.
I know Michael Waltrip's probably kicking himself in the butt because they sold theirs so cheap, and they priced not too long
Yeah,
ago.
but
they-
see, here's the deal. Michael Waltrip, so-called co-owner, was in on this thing from the ground floor. Rob Kaufman knew this was coming, I'll bet you, since day one. And if he let Waltrip sell his franchises and get out before it was an established deal, then he should have his butt kicked. If that's the case, if Kaufman knew this was coming, and he didn't tell Waltrip, he didn't say, hey, let's hang on for 2 years, or another year, then something stinky in Finland.
Because somewhere I read somewhere they valued these charters at like $20-some million.
I heard 8.
8 million, that's it.
8 or 9's about all.
That's interesting.
That might be enough for him to settle the suit of the
Yeah,
I
pit crew member.
I think they sold.
I think a pit crew member is suing him.
Then
Yeah.
Waltrip, those guys sold them for like only just like $2 or $3 million or something like that.
I think the Woods said they could pay up to 7. So,
I don't know how to.
who we got?
Let's
What's
talk
going on?
racing.
Let's talk racing.
Okay.
Hey,
Hello, can you
Who
hear
is
us?
Is that Tyler?
Hello? Hold on.
Tyler, can you hear us?
Nope, guess not.
Hello, Tyler.
Do you copy? You got anything? No? Can you hear me now? No. I heard a
Your
no.
phone's breaking up, Tyler.
Is it our end? Or
Holler
his end?
back, as they
I think
say.
it's
Hold on. Wait. We're getting movement.
He's
I don't
taking
know
it
what's
out of his
happening.
pocket.
pocket down.
That would be funny if you had a car driver pocket dial us. Oh, I would die. I'd laugh so hard. Hello?
I wonder if he can hear us. We're
Still there,
telling
Tyler?
him to dial back.
Hey, Tyler, can you hear us? Is
yeah, can you hear me?
No.
Barely.
Barely.
You're in and out. You want to try hanging up and try and call back in again?
Yeah, I'm gonna try on a different phone.
Okay. That I heard.
Yeah,
All right.
then it worked.
I
So,
might have woke him up from a nap. I'm not sure.
We'll be-
I was
we'll
just
be-
talking to him a while ago.
we'll
So.
be
Searching around
back.
the room for the phone.
I'm just like, can you hear me? No, you heard that.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
I don't know what you're
So how's
doing.
your season going?
Slow?
Yeah.
Slow?
Slow. We've only run
Really
one
slow.
time so far.
How many?
We've only run one time so far.
Only once, yeah.
Really?
Yeah, we just we had a bunch of stuff going on.
Okay.
We were out of town on vacation, and whole crew was sick for 2 weeks,
No, I wouldn't fun.
All
so
right.
we've missed a bunch of chances.
Let's talk racing.
Yep, it's Tyler.
There we go. All right, we can hear you now. Hi, Tyler. How are you doing tonight? Besides the little technical difficulty we had there,
Not too bad. How are you?
we're all doing pretty well here at Let's Talk Racing. Well, Tyler, before we get you started with asking you all kinds of fun questions for people who might be new to the show and don't know too much about you, how about you give us the rundown of everything you do and what all you've been involved in racing?
I'm 19 years old. I'm from Cordova, Maryland. I've been racing since I was 5, so that's 14 years. I currently race in the late model stock car division at Dominion Raceway, and I'm part-time in the NASCAR Can-Am Pro Series. I work a full-time job, and I come home and work on the race cars, and that's about all I live, eat, and sleep racing, so.
Well, we all do too, so join the club.
All right.
What do you think, Colin?
So, what do you think of the new track Dominion Raceway after racing there for a few weeks?
I love the track in itself. You know, the surface is great. It's nice and smooth. It's a fast track. We've had pretty good success there so far this year, and other than our DQ and our DNF, I mean we've had basically the car to beat almost every single week, or one of the cars to beat, and I've been truly happy with that. I think the Brits are doing a great job with the facility. I mean the building that they've built right, you know, on the front straightaway of the speedway is just absolutely, you know, it's beautiful. So I think it's going to be a great track once they finish it, and hopefully, you know, we'll bring in more fans and more car count as the years go on.
You plan on trying out any of the other configurations that you got up there at Dominion, like the road course or a drag strip?
I'm actually itching to get on the road course. I really want to take my legend car up there with a road course setup in it just to try it out. You might see me up there if we can somehow wiggle in a test session for the K&N car up there. You might see me up there once, shaking down one of the cars there if we can. But other than that, I mean, that's about it. I'm not really a big drag racing guy, but definitely the road course would be a fun one to try out.
You plan on traveling to other tracks than just Dominion, or just sticking at Dominion for now?
Right now our plan is just staying at Dominion. I think later in the year, when we have, when maybe the season's over or we have a few breaks, we'll travel to other tracks. I think we're planning on doing maybe Myrtle Beach and Martinsville. We're just kind of playing it by ear and, racing when we can right now. With the K&N car, we're planning on racing Dominion, Watkins Glen, New Jersey Motorsports Park, and Dover this year. And those are all the races we have scheduled for that.
How much do you think your late model experience at Dominion will help with the K&N race?
It's not going to help so much setup-wise. The two cars are totally different. But as far as driver-wise, I think I'll have a pretty good advantage just because I've been practicing and racing there for weeks upon weeks. I know what the track does from day to night, so that'll also help me. But of course, I think we're going to be racing in the daytime in the K&N race. I've had experience running on the outside, so that'll be 1 foot up when everybody else comes there. I know what grooves to run, so I think it'll have a pretty good advantage from a driver's perspective, but not so much from a setup perspective.
Now, if Langley manages to open up, are you going to try to run some races at Langley again?
Yeah, I'd like to. If they can get their schedule out and open, we'll definitely take a look at it and see what races they have available to run. If the Hampton Heat is an option where we're not racing at Dominion one weekend, we might travel up there for that. But that's all in if they open. But yeah, honestly, I love Langley. I love racing there, but right now our main focus is at Dominion.
Since we're talking about all these different tracks, do you have a favorite track that you like to race at?
Yeah. Dominion is one of my favorite short tracks, obviously, but two other tracks I've really had a blast at have got to be Dover and Richmond. Dover is just insanely fast with the K&N car, and I had a blast racing there last October. You never come out of the throttle completely. You're always in the throttle, and you're not using any brake, and it is just insanely fast. And then, Richmond was a pretty fun track to get on and run and actually race on. I didn't have that great of a finish there. We had a great car. It's just we had a rain-shortened race that that I wasn't able to get up to the front like I think I had the car to do. So.
Do you have a track, like a least favorite track? Like, is there one that either you don't like racing at, or are you not like a big short track fan? Like, how about that? Do you have a track that you don't like to race at?
Honestly, I've never really had a track that I've never really liked, or I've not liked. Yeah, there hasn't been too many of them. Most of them I've always really liked to race at. Anywhere from, Shenandoah to, Dominion, Old Dominion, Langley. I've really liked all the different racetracks, and they've all had their own character to them. So, yeah, there's not too many racetracks I don't like.
That's good. It's a good attitude to have. Keep that up.
Tyler, when you started racing young, did you have anybody you actually looked up to help guide you along your way?
Well, obviously I've always looked up to all the NASCAR drivers. My favorite driver growing up was Dale Earnhardt Jr. Dale Earnhardt Sr. was someone you could always look up to just because, he was the man back in the day. Another one from a character perspective I always looked up to was Jimmy Johnson. He always stayed very humble, no matter what happened on the racetrack, and very good driver, and it seems like whenever there's an issue, he's always humble. He doesn't ever have much of an attitude about or a bad attitude. So that would be a driver that I really looked up to as growing up, and one that I wanted to be character-wise.
What do you think about this race that him and Josh Wise and the 100-mile bike race? Who else was it? Landon Castle. Those three guys are going to go compete in. Is that something you'd want to go try with them at one point?
A 100-mile bike race?
Yep.
To be honest, I don't work out too much. I really don't have the time to, and I know that's a lazy excuse, but
Same.
most of my time goes to either working my 40-hour job or working on the race cars in the evening. So if I was in their position, yeah, I would love to do it. I think it'd be a fun thing to do, especially if I had the endurance built up to go do it.
What are they doing?
They're supposed to be doing a 100-mile race on bike. Jimmy Johnson, Josh Wise, and Landon Castle are competing in it.
Where?
They had just announced it Sunday at Dover. I caught part of an interview with Landon Castle they were doing on the show, and I said, "What?" And he said, "Yeah, Jimmy Johnson and Landon and Josh, because Landon and Josh ride together all the time at the tracks. They go out and ride 20 or 30, 50 miles out and about wherever they're racing at."
Yeah,
So.
Pretty cool.
Do you have any questions for him?
What you were saying your 40-hour-a-week job? What type of work do you do?
Well, I actually work on forklifts for a living. I work for the same company as my dad does, and I'm a road tech, so I'm in a van traveling all over the place and over in Baltimore, going to different accounts, and doing anything from just a stupid little oil change or all the way up to, like today I was finishing up a timing belt job. So, but yep, that's what I do for a living.
So you got
Real road
mechanical work all day long, right? So you do mechanical work during the day and then keep it going at night.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Wow.
Is Dominion maybe a little tiny bit too fast for late models, or do you think you guys will eventually adapt to that and it won't be quite as risky as it appears to be now to some people?
I think it's a perfect late model track in my eyes. That anybody who says a late model track is too fast probably shouldn't be out there to begin with. But that track is really a perfect late model track. It's the perfect size. But I think it's made for some great racing so far. And as the track slows up, people are going to have to adapt to it, and they have to adapt to the speed as it is right now. So I personally love it, but that's my opinion.
Yeah, we're going to have Mr. Pardue from Dominion Raceway on in about a half hour, so we're going to talk with him about the track as well. So we would just getting some info from you helps out a little bit. See from the driver's side.
Oh yeah, I mean that track is just absolutely incredible. I mean, there's not one that I've raced that's like it, and it is just an awesome track, and I look forward to seeing what the rest of the track has to offer once it's done. So,
What suggestion would you make if you were talking to the promoter about things that may improve the driver experience?
that's probably a bad question to ask.
Well, we won't blame it on you. We'll just we'll ask an open question.
Well,
and
hypothetically, if
Everybody
you could,
has an opinion. It doesn't matter whether it's good or bad.
So, do
The
tell.
one thing that I would change about the whole racetrack, to be honest, I guess the only thing I would change would be I would add more progressive banking to the track up in the higher grooves in the middle of the corners. The track is progressive banking, but you can't physically see the progressive banking from the bottom of the racetrack to the top. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think Winchester Speedway down in the Carolinas has got really gnarly progressive banking, and I think that would be cool. I've always wanted to, have a racetrack where you could get up all the way up against the wall and run, but other than that, that'd be the only thing. That would be the only track feature that I would change.
Now, you mentioned earlier that you thought maybe an advantage you'd have in K&N would be that you've got that outside lane experience. So it sounds like it might be a little tricky out on the high side there at Dominion.
Well, yeah. I mean, any outside line is hard to run. You're going a long way around somebody. I was able to try to get it down at Langley, and I had it pretty well down pat at Langley last year, and I like running outside, to be honest. The last two races I've won, I've taken the lead on the outside. So, but yeah, I mean, it'll definitely be a good group to get worked in the K&N race. And after talking with Chris Wright this past weekend when he visited the K&N series, he told me, he goes, look, the higher you can be on this racetrack, the better, because there's going to be great drivers like Noah Gregson who are going to get up there and they're going to run that outside and work in even higher grooves than what you guys have. And that's probably one of the biggest things is, to get higher on the racetrack, you need more than just one car up there trying to work the rubber up and trying to work the groove up. So I think it'll be interesting to see once you get a lot of fast, experienced drivers in the K&N series out there trying different grooves. I think you'll see that groove move even higher than what you do in the late model.
Do you guys get to do any practice before the actual race at Dominion in a K&N car?
So we got to test it one time back in, I think it was like late February, early March, and we were supposed to test this past weekend, and after we blew up a late model motor on Saturday, and then as we went to test on Sunday in the K&N car, we couldn't build oil pressure in that motor, so we were never able to test it. When I tested the car back in February or early March, I honestly can't remember when it was. I think we had a pretty good piece just by offloading the car. It's going to need some fine-tune adjustments when we get to the racetrack, by Memorial Day weekend. But I don't think it's anything that we can't get down pat for the race in that one weekend. Between Saturday and Sunday at practice, I think we'll be fine, and I think we'll be fast. I truly think that I'm hoping that we have a top 5 car, if not a winning car, when we offload on Saturday to start practice. So.
Cool.
Well, before we run out of time on your segment, we're going to give
We don't have to worry about running out of time.
Oh, we
with
don't
this.
have another?
Yeah, we
Well,
got
it
an
said,
extra 15 minutes to.
It said let be determined, so I didn't know if we had another caller or not.
Well, I didn't
No?
get any response back from the ones that said they wanted to be on and then forgot about us. I tell you.
Aw. Well, see, then we really like you then, so you get extra time, so that's awesome for you. So since we do have extra time, I want to ask you a question I always ask drivers. What's your most embarrassing moment you've had in your racing career? And be honest and do tell, because we've had everything, trust me.
I gotta think about this one.
He's got to think about this one, oh boy.
Honestly, the most embarrassing moment probably had to be down in Shenandoah 2 years ago. But yeah, it was about 2 years ago. I was running my late model down there, and under the pace laps, I was just kind of warming up my tires, and I looked down at my gauges for whatever reason. When I looked back up, I drove right in the back of somebody under the pace lap before the race ever started and folded the nose right up in front of my face and windshield. So,
Oh.
yeah, that was a pretty dumb moment for me. Couldn't believe I did it, but I guess it happened. But yeah, that was a pretty sad moment for me.
That was actually done by a Cup driver.
Yeah.
Wasn't it just prior to the start of a road course race, I think? Somebody under those parade laps. I can't remember who it was. It was just like a year or two ago. So don't feel bad. It's
not just
it's
you.
happened
Other people have done this
at the highest
as well.
level.
Could be worse. It could have been a pace car.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, well at least it wasn't a pace car. But to counteract that,
I guess I gotta get my. What's that?
I said, well, usually you can finish it. Usually after your most embarrassing, I have your most like proud moment story afterwards. So.
Yeah, I mean, after that, surprisingly, I have the ride I have now, you know, Paul Green. So, but yeah, that was a pretty stupid moment, but I guess it can happen to the best of us sometimes.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, the proud moment would be if he came back and won the race after that.
Yeah. So like, what's a
Oh,
moment that you're really proud of, or like an awesome, or like a pinnacle moment, like so far that you've had, like while racing and in your career?
I mean, there's been a couple of them. You know, one of the most proud moments was, I won the Legends Championship down at Old Dominion, you know, back in 2011. My first season of late models, I was able to capture the Virginia State Rookie of the Year. Excuse me. You know, and just recently, the first late model win at Dominion Raceway is pretty awesome. To be the inaugural winner of, you know, a brand new track is something that not too many people can say they have done. And we focused on that one race all winter long, and we wanted to make sure we went out and won it. And even though there was a little bit of controversy, you know, we still sealed the deal, and we still have the trophy in the end. So, yeah, I mean, that's the most recent one to date is that that Dominion win. So.
Cool beans. You got any questions for him, Al?
Yeah, you've only spoken one.
You're awful quiet today.
I know.
I'm
you're quiet. It's
I'm trying to
weird.
think of the K&N races, obviously next weekend. Not this weekend,
What?
next weekend.
Dominion on the. It's
Dominion.
actually the 30th on
Is that-
Monday.
It'll be on Monday, right?
Dominion,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So
next
Monday.
weekend. Not this coming weekend.
Right, Memorial
Right.
Day.
Sure.
Saturday or Sunday or Monday? Which-
Monday, the
It's
30th.
gonna be run on the Monday, yeah.
On Monday,
On
okay.
Memorial
The
Day,
race is
actually on
Monday,
Memorial
but-
Day.
Practice and qualifying is Sunday, and then you have open practice on Saturday.
Oh, okay.
Is that standalone, or is there something else running the same day?
No, there's actually late models running the same weekend, and I think that's the only other division.
Yeah. they're on
And
Sunday.
I will be doing double duty that weekend. I will
Okay.
be racing both cars.
Okay, they race.
So,
They're racing Sunday, and then you guys are on. I mean, sorry, the K&N is Monday.
oh no! I'm.
You think they're both the same day?
They're going to practice. Yeah, they're going to practice and qualify both divisions on Sunday, and then they're going to race both divisions on Monday.
Okay, gotcha,
Okay,
gotcha.
okay.
All right, there we go.
Okay.
You're gonna get a
double
lot of
duty
laps
then.
in.
Yeah, you're gonna be
You're gonna,
at least. You better hydrate well, I guess, before.
water.
Right. Yeah, it's going to be tough. I'm just going to have to watch what I eat, and drink a lot of water. It's going to be a 100-lap late model race and 200-lap K&N race, and the late model race is first. So, yeah, it's definitely going to be tough. That'll be the most laps I've ever raced in one day, and hopefully I can pull it off. It would be awesome to pull off, you know, both wins in one weekend, and that's the goal right now. So.
Yeah, sounds good.
Cool.
That may be the first scheduled Monday NASCAR race in forever, maybe.
Really?
Scheduled.
Scheduled. Yes.
They rain out and run on Mondays, but I don't remember. God, it's been forever since they run a Monday scheduled NASCAR race in any series.
Yeah.
It's rare. Like,
Yeah.
Unless
It would
unless
be pretty cool.
July 4th might have been on a Monday back when they ran Daytona on the date itself.
I don't know if they've ever done July 4th.
Well, July 4th could have been on a Monday,
Yeah.
Roger.
I understand that.
Back in the
used to run it.
60s
I don't
and 70s
remember-
and 80s.
There being a Monday race even then, but that's all right. First thing that goes is the mind.
at least you've accepted it. That's okay.
Maybe for you.
Oh.
Somebody was asking me today how many times Richard Petty had won at Richmond. I think I said the number was 11 times.
It's 13, isn't it?
Uh-oh.
I think it's 13.
You're the encyclopedia of NASCAR.
Yeah,
I know, I was say,
I usually refer to you as the encyclopedia NASCAR guy.
He
15
still
at
is.
15 at Martinsville. I think 13 at Richmond. I don't know.
We need to put you on a NASCAR trivia show.
We would win so much money. Oh my gosh, can we talk about this for a moment?
They need to have, what is it, one of those game shows, just strictly nothing but NASCAR. Well, something like what they used to do with Kyle Petty and Rutledge when they sat there.
yeah,
Can we restart that up, because we would have a champion right here. Like, oh my god.
I was trying to get out there and be one of the contestants that works with those guys, but I could never get to it.
Between you and him, we would get that'd be really
No,
interesting.
I would beat me hands down.
We have someone admitting, wow, defeat? Jeez,
I
Roger.
can get close. I can't always hit the spot, but I can get close.
Yeah.
That's why I do computers more than I do.
And that's why he has you for the computers.
Anywho.
Sorry that we got to chatting. You get to hear our daily conversation that we always carry on, so apologize about that.
You get to hear our little bit of insides anyway. So let's go ahead and let you get roll.
He's from up Northern Virginia, somewhere.
Maryland.
Where are you from?
Maryland, he said.
Cordova, Maryland.
Maryland.
Where?
Maryland.
Cordone, Maryland.
I don't know where that is.
We're,
I mean, just
if you go up to the Bay Bridge, I'm about 30 minutes off the Bay Bridge.
Okay, I went by there.
The Bay Bridge Tunnel, the actual Bay Bridge up north.
Okay, yeah, I want to cross the bridge.
What,
I
301?
want to cross a nice bridge into Maryland and then the big bridge into Delaware last weekend twice, going and coming. So I went through Waldorf, La Plata, Bowie, and then went over 301 that way. So
You came up 301. So if you hit 301 and 50 and took 50 all the way over and started heading east, then you would, if you cross the Bay Bridge, then I'm about 30 minutes from there. So.
oh, okay.
That's a little ways up there. Right?
That's pretty far.
All right, let's go ahead and let you get going and go ahead and do a shout out to your
Let me ask you one more question.
Oh,
okay.
wait, one
Now
more.
we got you
One more
cranked up.
Yeah, got him going.
Why is it that when people get on the Bay Bridge, they immediately go from 70 miles an hour to 35?
Thank you.
They seem terrified of that bridge from Annapolis over to Kent Island. And I don't understand. It's still 4 lanes. You actually got 3 lanes both ways, and people act like it's a 2-lane back road. What is wrong with those people up there?
I don't know.
Scared of heights.
It's frustrating for me because I got to travel that bridge every day too. So, and the Severn River Bridge is even worse, and that's when you're coming out of Annapolis.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
The Bay Bridge.
Yeah.
The Severn River Bridge is even worse. The traffic backs up there all the time, and for no apparent reason at all, really.
You ever eat at Harris's Crab Shack on Kent Island?
Oh yeah, I know exactly where that is.
Yeah. And there's also a place called The Narrows, which is a pretty good restaurant on Kent Island.
Yep. If you're down there, stop in the Fisherman's Inn, or that's a pretty good restaurant down there too.
Yeah. And somebody told me a place called Captain Bill's south of Bowie, headed toward the Potomac River Bridge. Captain Bill's Seafood over on the right side going south. That's supposed to be a pretty good place.
Yeah, I think I may have stopped in there one time. I think I know what place you're talking about.
Yeah. But Harris's is pretty good.
We get
Yeah,
for
Harris.
something.
Yeah.
Actually, the owner of Harris is
There's some good places like that right now.
Okay. All right, I know all I need to know now.
Okay,
So
you get your
now
food
we're gonna-
questions in.
Now we're gonna let you go. Before we do, we want to give you a chance to thank all your sponsors. So
Make them proud.
yeah, make them shine with pride.
I'd like to thank my car owner Paul Green for putting me in the best equipment every week. To go out and go racing, and believing in me and believing in my talent
just
to go
that
racing
quiet.
every single week. And that's about it.
All right. Well, we want to thank you so much for being on the show tonight. We hope to have you back, and we wish you the best of luck in the upcoming season and those races. Please stay hydrated and do your best.
I'll probably see you up there at Dominion, Tyler, for the K&N and late model race. Might bring you some help on the hydration too.
All right, sounds good.
All right, bud. Talk to you later. Thanks.
Take care.
Well, appreciate it.
He's not old enough for that kind of hydration you're talking about. He'd have to wait till after.
No, that dehydrates you. What you're thinking.
I'm talking about hydration after the race.
Well, no, I was reading. They say the average amount of weight loss that an average, like any driver, like the average amount of weight loss from sweating in a race is 10 pounds
That is correct.
per race, just because of all the sweat and everything like that. And I read that little statistic, and I'm
That's
thinking,
got to be wrong.
It is not
my
wrong.
How do you
ask him. He loves it.
how do you explain Tony
guarantee you-
Stewart then?
Well, you drink it right back on.
Why do you think they eat so much? I'm just saying.
Welcome to Let's Talk Racing.
Let's talk racing. Who do we have right now?
How's it going?
Oh, are we having this issue again?
Edwin, can...
Good evening.
Okay.
There we go. We
No,
had
no, we're
phone
gonna go hear
issues
him.
earlier. So, hi. Is this Edwin?
Edwin Pardue with Dominion Raceway. How are you?
I'm doing awesome. We're all doing awesome tonight. We're here at Let's Talk Racing. You got me and Colin and Al and Roger. And do you mind telling everybody who's listening a little bit about yourself at Dominion?
Absolutely. So I'm Edwin Pardue, General Manager at Dominion Raceway. We're located in Spotsylvania County, Virginia. We are right on I-95, and if you put a dot on the map halfway between Washington, D.C. and Richmond, Virginia, right next to the interstate, that's where you'll find us.
All right. Awesome.
Good deal. We were just talking to one of your drivers, Tyler Hughes.
Tyler is, you talk about a young person. I even mentioned during our PA announcements a couple times that, if you're a casual fan, write that name down, and down the road you'll say, oh yeah, I saw him when he was running on the local short track. He is, he's an excellent driver with great talent. He has all, as we all know, PR skills are such a huge part of rising through the sport now. He has all the pieces that it takes to move forward, and he's great young man and a great family. So we're delighted to have him racing with us.
Awesome. Yeah, I plan to come and try to visit your facility on the K&N race weekend. So hopefully I'll get to enjoy that with you guys.
We're excited about that. That's going to be a unique weekend. We're going to do practice and qualifying with the K&N and late model cars on Sunday, and then the race is a daytime race on Monday. But we're doing a little bit more than that. On Sunday, we have a 20 by 40 foot video screen in the infield. We're opening the gates Sunday morning at the crack of dawn because it's my favorite day in motorsports, because you start off with the F1 race in Monaco.
Yeah.
You go to the Indy 500. Then we'll roll right into practice and qualifying for the late models in K&N, and then wrap it up with the 600 at Charlotte. It'll all be right in front of your eyes and on the big screen, and our grandstand admission for that day is absolutely free. So we think it's going to be one of the most unique opportunities in motorsports, and you get to watch everything. I used to plan my Memorial Day Sunday around races, and now you can just come to the track and spend the whole day with us.
That's pretty cool.
That's awesome. I like that
That's
idea.
awesome. I'm kind of dang. I'm about to
Come on up. I mean,
free up
think
my
about it.
weekend.
Well, and what's neat about it is it sort of encompasses what we're all about, because we have the oval track and we have the road course and the drag strip and karting. We're one of the few places where you can come and watch open wheel racing on the road course and stock cars, and so this idea of showing all those races on Memorial Day Sunday really kind of highlights what we're all about.
You said
Awesome.
it's a road course. Do you want to talk a little bit about that, like what all that is and what all that has?
So the road course is a 2-mile road course. What's so crazy about this place is the 4/10 mile oval track, the grandstands, the main building, all of that is actually on the infield of the road course. The 2-mile road course wraps around the outside. It's 2 miles, 75 feet of elevation change, a half-mile front straightaway, and we're still getting it finished. It's not done yet. We have the final coat of asphalt down. Now we're doing some final grading on the outside and getting some barriers and that. But you'll see everything from, my catchphrase has been everything from motorcycles to Maseratis. Working with the folks at National Auto Sport Association, working with the folks at STCA, Ferrari of Washington, Porsche Club of America, BMW Club, Audi Club, our own private drivers club, a couple different motorcycle groups, Team Promotion kind of taking the lead and developing our motorcycle program. And I was so delighted. One of the highlights of the last couple months, on Monday, Brock Yates Jr., who, his dad is just a legendary gonzo journalist of motorsports. And of course, Brock Jr. now runs the One Lap of America, which is what used to be the old Cannonball Run. So Brock Jr. was at the track. We put him in the pace car. We let him take a couple laps around the road course, and Brock was smiling and giving a thumbs up. So that one of the more satisfying days I've had at the track in the last several months. So that's really cool. We're getting there. We're not done yet, but we're getting there.
Hey, Al, maybe we can take your Camaro and do a couple of laps out there.
Come on, absolutely.
I'm not sure if it's good enough for my Camaro. We'll find out.
Oh.
In case you didn't know, Al is with Autoweek magazine.
We'll put the top down and give it a whirl.
There you go. There you go. So as long as you sign the waiver, you can do anything you want.
Oh.
Hey, Edwin, this is Colin Brown, local legend car driver in Virginia.
Absolutely. How you doing, man?
Good.
Good. Good to hear from you.
So, could you guys, talk about how far you guys have come, like in a year from just, with it being, a lot cleared with trees all of a sudden now, the oval and the road course and the drag strip?
Well, I'm going to be kind of contradictory. We've come a long way, but we still have work to do. We've had 4 NASCAR Whale and All-American Series races on the oval. They've been great, but we still don't have our full bar and restaurant open. So the second floor, our tower, if you will, is a 36,600 square foot 3-story building. So I don't have the full restaurant open yet. I don't have the full bar open yet, but we're getting there. So I'm excited that people come, and we remind them all the time that what you see now is what will be totally different in 6 months from now. So the oval track itself is great. One thing about a new racetrack is getting it worked in, developing that second groove. This thing already has a second groove, and you guys said you spoke with Tyler Hughes earlier. Tyler's already found that top groove, and
Oh yeah.
the racing is fantastic, and Tyler found that early, and he did a lot of testing and practice there, and he's found that top line. So the racing is great. It's just there's parts that are still dirt, and we're still putting grass seed down and all that stuff. So we're horribly, wonderfully proud of what we have, but we want to remind our competitors and our fans that what we have right now is so different than what it'll be. We'll finish the 8-mile drag strip this fall. We're building a separate karting course on the infield of the oval track. I've got 24 race carts on order. We'll begin our karting program in July. So it'll be corporate karting, arrive and drives, and it'll also be mini Grand Prix, and there'll be leagues as well. So those are the 4 tracks: the karting course, the oval, the drag strip, and the road course.
You're going to turn into one busy racetrack.
Yeah, you're going to be really busy.
Oh, the scheduling's crazy. I mean, it's trying to get everything to coordinate. This weekend, we've got a NASCAR oval track race Saturday night, if the weather holds. And I also have our second year that we've hosted Mopar Palooza, which is the biggest Mopar event on the East Coast. And so that will be the norm, where we're pulling off multiple events on a weekend. We have got World Karting Association coming. We've got a vintage racing group event in October. We're going to have vintage cars on the road course and vintage cars on the oval. And then next year we'll actually add vintage drag racing. So what we'll do once we're all done is you'll have a vintage weekend where you're getting road course, oval, and drags. It's one price for spectators, and you come in and you get all of it.
Wow.
Awesome.
How has your advertisement for all of this been going? What kind of reactions are you getting, not only from the public, but the people that you want, like you said, like the vintage cars and things coming to the track? How has that been going while building and renovating and all of this going on?
So it's kind of a 2-pronged program there as well. It's been a little bit of hurry up and wait. Our marketing and advertising partners have been through the roof. From our top corporate sponsors, Pepsi and Anheuser-Busch, through their local distributor JF Fick. Those folks have been out of this world. And then our local and regional sponsors have been absolutely unbelievable. They see the vision. They know where it's going to go. Opening night, I could not have shoehorned another person in there. And now, just the way things fall, I've had 3 rainy weekends in a row, and I'm about to get another rainy weekend. So that part's a little frustrating in that and the fans are still coming out, but we want the fans to have this really wonderfully unique experience. And our crew worked their butts off last weekend. We had about a 90-minute rain delay just as we were getting into qualifying.
Oh.
And it's the worst time. Rain early, rain late. Don't rain right in the middle of the show. But the crew worked hard, and we got the whole program in, and I think the fans understood that. So we've had 4 late model races. We've had 4 late model winners. So we're excited about that as well.
How much have you guys, would you say, benefited from Langley Speedway not being in operation so far this year?
Not at all. My official position on that is we want Langley to be open. More racetracks are better for us, and we want to see Langley reopen. There's talk about some folks coming in to reopen Southampton, and anything that we can do to encourage and help those racetracks be open and operating, we're there to do it, because more racetracks are better for all of us. And so short term, will we pick up a car here and there? Yeah, we probably will, but that's not of interest to us. Ours is we've just invested millions of dollars, and for us to be successful, there has to be a long-term event horizon. And so more racetracks works better for our business model. So we want to see the issues that Langley get sorted out. We want Langley to open because it's good for the sport.
So would you guys be getting, say, like divisions, like the Ariel Adam class that runs at VIR, or is that just strictly a VIR division?
So what we've got our private drivers club. I got a couple guys in the club who have Ariel Adams. Right now, a lot of our road course booking is, again, through NASA, SCCA, Porsche Club, Audi Club, those groups. We're really, really excited. The other group, as I mentioned, Team Promotion, who will be developing our 2-wheel program, and Bertle Roos, which is one of America's premier open-wheel racing schools. They're going to be at our track later this fall doing an open-wheel racing school. So those are the groups we're really, really concentrating on right now. And again, that gives you this wide array of motorcycles, sports cars, and open-wheel cars out on the road course. So we think it's a good combination.
So, based on the small number of races that you've run so far, what are some areas that you think you have found that need improvement, and what kind of changes do you guys have planned?
So, well, the first week we found out real quick that we needed some more fencing. I had people literally up on the racetrack hanging out by the barrier walls of the fence. So immediately we made some changes to just make it a little bit safer. Operationally, opening week, getting our cars registered and in what was a bit of a slow process. So we've opened registration an hour earlier. We've added 2 more people in our registration office, and that seems to have picked up a bunch. Operationally, it's getting my food and beverage crew up and running. Now we're still the main concessionary in the main building still is not open. So we've been working with some of our partners like Papa John's and Honey Baked Ham to help us keep our concessions up and going. So we're still running this thing without it being completely built. Every week we add something new, but really it's just operational stuff. And it's folks. We have a lot of folks who have been around the sport for years, and even though you've done it a long time, a new place has its nuances. So it's really just learning, each person learning their job. And I will tell you, the progress I've seen from opening night until this past weekend has been quite dramatic.
What is the? I was going to ask one question. What is the seating capacity now, and what will it be? I guess as changes are made, and then the second part of it would be, what else are you going to use the facility for? Like other types of events, like concerts, things like that, possibly down the road.
So we've already had, as far as future events go, we've already had our very first drive-in movie. We did The Incredibles last week, and we had folks come in. They can sit in the grandstands. They can park on the racetrack. We have 2 more drive-in movies coming up in June. We're going to do June 9th, Jurassic World, and June 23rd, we're going to do Star Wars The Force Awakens. So we think what's so cool about the drive-in is it attracts people who may not be race fans, but it is still part of that car culture. So we're really excited about that. So we've added those types of events. We've got Friday nights we do open practice. That's going to become, we're going to call it the fastest after work party in town. So we'll do free grandstand admission. People can come in. We'll have live music, cars on track. We've got a dueling pianos group coming in June. So we've got these other entertainment pieces that are part of it. And you know, you can't survive just on the racing part of it. You've got to add these other events. So we think between the drive-in movies and some of our music pieces we're bringing in, we're going to fill that calendar out and get people in there, because you know the race fans are great, but there's folks in our community who aren't race fans, and that's fine. We want to give them another reason to come to Dominion Raceway.
Cool.
I got one last question. So, do you guys, like, with your road course stuff, plan on getting, like, any IMSA development series for the sports car racing or the Pirelli World Challenge series?
You know, the Pirelli and, like, the IMSA, like Continental Tire and those things, they may be just a step above what we're looking to bring in. And we want to grow into that. So, as I mentioned before, this first year will be very, very heavy club related. We get the guys from Burgle Roost in here. There may be some opportunity to bring in some of the SCCA Pro open wheel stuff. And as we grow, there are some opportunities there. Possibly doing some Legends racing on a national level. Bringing in some of the Chump Car and Lemons groups onto the road course to be part of it. And, I would like to do a couple professional races a year on the road course, because it gives you that boost that you want so people see it. But that's not part of the economic model. Our economic model are the clubs, the club racers, and those guys. But the other stuff would be gravy. And then, as far as national coverage, we've got, as I mentioned, our K&N race coming up on Monday the 30th. That'll be on the NBC Sports Network, being reshown the Thursday after the race. So really cool for us to get some national exposure in our inaugural season.
Cool. Right. Any questions for him, Al?
Nah, I'm okay.
Come on, those are all. Come on, ask me a hard one.
Oh.
There you
All
go.
right, I'll ask you a hard one.
Okay.
Come on.
You took the bait.
At one point, a couple of years ago, there was a study made that said at any one point in time, there were upwards of 20 or 30 racetracks being planned. People were talking about building racetracks. Less than 5% of those ever got built. What was it about your project? Because you're in a pretty high rent district. You're in a prime real estate area. What was it about your project that got yours done when tracks in other parts of the country that were very well meaning and well planned and well intentioned never got off the ground?
Yeah, and you framed the question perfectly, because what made our project so hard is what will make our project successful. We're on a prime piece of real estate, and that's what will make it work, because we're on America's Main Street, I-95. We all love it. We all hate it. So, but our our accessibility is what's huge. So the secret to our hopeful success, I say all the time, is our location and our diversity. If we were, if we sat down and did the numbers and came up with a business model that says, hey, we're going to build a oval track in Virginia, it's really hard to make that financially work. And you go to a bank to get a loan, and they say, so what are you guys going to do? Oh, we're going to be operating 20 days a year, and we need, X million dollars to build it. Well, our point was, no, we're going to be operational 352 days a year, and that's the difference. That's how we made it work, and we're kind of stubborn. Once we got an idea of what we wanted to do, we were bound and determined to get it done. But the fact is that the location and the diversity are what makes it work, and we're pretty confident that plan will bear out. And the bank and the folks who've loaned the money to us to make this thing happen looked at it, and as you well know, they're gonna cross every T, dot every I, and they saw how that business model would work as well.
Will your drag strip stay at 8th, or will you eventually? Is it capable of being a quarter if you need it?
I would like to. I just don't have the shutdown room for it. I joke all the time with my drag racing guys. I said, look, there's a line at the 8th mile. It is purely a suggestion. If you want to keep your foot in it for the quarter, go ahead. But you might end up in the river. It's funny. Our turn 1 of the drag strip we've named Poe, because it's the Poe River just beyond turn 1. And so our joke all the time is, if you don't make turn 1, you're going to end up down in the Poe River. Same thing with our drag strip. And the idea on the 8th mile is it keeps it in what we're trying to do. We're trying to be this sportsman type road course that touches on some professional spectator and professional touring events as well. So we're going to have, I would tell you this, because we've been so concentrated on the oval and on the road course, we're probably going to have one of the most incredible 8th mile facilities in the country. I would rather be a fantastic 8th mile drag strip than a okay quarter mile. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to be a really great 8th mile drag strip.
Probably too short for Xfinity, your oval.
Yeah, it is. It is. Like I say, we've got K&N cars coming May 30th. Can't tell you how excited we are about that. We're going to be on the realm of thinking to do an ARCA race there at some point. We've even talked crazy stuff about how about a weekend where you do the ARCA cars on the oval and on the road courses. Some of those ideas we've floated, but you can see I fully hope that our friends from ComServe Wireless, Rick Godovic, and those folks have come in to be the marketing partner for our Memorial Day weekend stuff. I would love to see that become an annual tradition, and so maybe you could even look at doing a K&N oval and road course combination. But those are the groups you're going to see. You're going to see K&N. We've got USAC coming this year, the oval, and run the USAC midgets there as well. So you'll see us kind of reach out into some of those areas as we move forward. But like a double K&N weekend or a double ARCA weekend with oval track and road course, absolutely within the realm of thinking, and that would be a racing fan's dream come true. I might even quit my job just to come that weekend, camp out, and enjoy the racing.
How about Wheeling Modifieds?
So we actually talked this year about the Wheeling Modifieds. Just once we were ready to put our schedule together, that schedule was already coming together, but that's absolutely on the radar screen. That would be that is a perfect kind of piece that fits into what we're doing, and I wouldn't be surprised to see them in the future years at Dominion.
Okay.
I take it Brandon's going to run the race on the 30th. Godovic?
I don't know that for a fact. I would hope so. I don't have a final list from NASCAR for folks who are coming, but my hope and my guess is he would be. Those guys are just great. You talk about people who understand how to race and market a product through motorsports, they are some of the best. Rick and his team at ComServe are.
Yeah.
I'm learning as much from them as I have from anybody.
Cool. All right, let's go ahead and let you get out of here. Al's starting to salivate over here. He's ready to go eat.
Yeah.
No, not much.
We'll have to have,
Guys, thank you. The door is open. Come up and see us, and if you want to sneak up during the weekday and bring some cars, we'll do some track time on the road course.
All right.
All right.
Let's get on
Have
that.
fun. You gonna bring your Hummer
We
and I'll
want to
bring my
thank you.
SUV?
Want to thank you so much for being a part of our show tonight. We hope to have you on again and see you up there at Dominion.
Come anytime. Thank you guys very, very much, and remember to go to DominionRaceway.com for tickets and for all of our scheduling information.
Awesome.
Awesome. Thank you so
All right.
much.
Talk to you later.
Good night.
All right, bye-bye.
Thank you. I don't know how to work that. He was fantastic. He was really good.
That's what it should be, right, Al?
I know.
I guess.
I guess you're a general
Somebody's got a
manager.
lot of money.
You framed that question perfectly, Al. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
seems like you've done this job before.
You should go do this job for a
When he
living.
said that, I
You're
was
really
like,
good at
oh.
You've been around. You've been
Of course
around
you
for a
No, I mean
while.
that's good. That's what it should be, right?
I just thought that was so funny. I'm like, oh, thanks.
You want to touch on something on the air or do it after?
No, I'm disgusted by it.
All right. Well, in that case, everybody, we'll catch y'all next week.
Yeah,
On Let's
bye.
Talk Racing. See ya.